Hello. I thought I'd show you how I do these watercolour backgrounds that I often use in my journals and in bits of work I do. It's got that sort of variegated, mottled effect that just with watercolour. I can see that. So it's quite easy to do. Just any sheet of paper, watercolour paper, pages in your journal, they're all great. I've actually coated a little bit of it with gesso, so we'll just see what the difference is between doing it on plain paper and on a surface that's been prepared with gesso. So what I usually do is just put some water down, because that helps the watercolour move around easily. Then pick a couple of colours. Two or three colours are usually enough without it getting too messy. With the blues and the pinks and the purples. Just put colour on, put colour down wherever you like. Don't have to do anything specific, any specific design or any specific pattern, because the patterns get created by magic in a minute. The more you do, the more you see what type of pattern works for you. There we are, all covered with watercolour, quite wet. What we do is we get a crumpled ball of cling film, shrink wrap, whatever you call it. If it's been crumpled, it has more pattern in the film. So if you rub it, then you just scrunch it up, spread it out over your paint, squidge it about a bit. Squidge is a technical term. You need to be highly trained to do that. Not. There, just like this. You see the patterns forming already, yeah? You see that? If you've got an idea of where you want to be, or if you see some big gaps that aren't forming, that are quite flat, you can move the film around a bit more to get a better pattern, or more pattern, should I say. It takes a while to dry, so it's not a desperate hurry to do. But some papers, the watercolour does dry out quite quickly, so we'll leave it at that for now. See? And then here is one I prepared earlier. What do you think? It's really a nice, delicate pattern that then you can put something else on top of. So that is how I do these patterns. Hope you enjoyed it, except I forgot to show you the difference between the paper and the gesso. See? It's quite a different pattern, where you've got the watercolour directly onto the paper. or with the gesso behind it, the white pops through more, whereas on the paper the colour blends right into the background much easier. If I'd not spread water across it all, you can see here more white would show through then. That would be another way of doing it. This was just directly onto the paper. So is this. This is watercolour with walnut ink. Walnut ink has lovely deep browns right through to the palest brown, purely depending upon how much water you put in. It blends in nicely with the watercolour. This is another one just really to show how you can build up several layers. I'm not that keen on it when it's finished, but it shows exactly, it shows you how you can start off with a paler colour in the background and build up some deeper blues here, and then just to put a bit of a contrast in, I use the pinks, which is better for me if you blend the colours at the beginning rather than adding the colour afterwards there. However, sometimes that does work. I can't remember whether I put the ink on after the watercolour or whether I did it all at the same time. I think I did with these, I think I did it all at the same time. I did a few of them, watercolour and ink. And I honestly can't remember whether I did watercolour first and then added the ink, or whether I, like as I say, whether I put them on together. It's just a case of playing with ideas, just play and see what happens. You start to see what effects you get and what you like. I do like this on gesso. I've used that in my journals quite a bit, but up till starting to do the journal pages I hadn't used the gesso, so I'm quite impressed with it. Yeah, if you take the cling film off too soon, the paint or spread just merge in together. You know, you lose the pattern, so you do need to let it get completely dry before you take the film off. So there you are. Hope you enjoyed it.